watch me, nay, nay.
Why me do it?
Now watch me whip. Watch me, nay, nay.
Okay.
Now watch me whip.
My teenage daughters told me I shouldn't do that. And it's not because I can, they just forbid it. Hey, let's give a big hand for Tony Boswell out there. I'm just so happy that I get to follow a professional comedian. Now let's get a few things out of the way. I am Jeff Wagner, and I want to answer some frequently asked questions that I typically get from people who are meeting me for the first time. Yes, I am aware that I'm tall. I'm between 6'7" and 6'8", depending on what time of day it is. Yeah, wow. You ought to be living in this, okay? Hey, yeah, I always thought that, you're always the hero of your own story. I always thought I was average height. Turns out I'm just average height for a person my size. Next question. No, I do not play basketball anymore. I've just got more things to do with my time. No, I am not lying about my height. And you measuring yourself up against me to make sure is just insulting for both of us. Yes, the weather for you and the weather for me are exactly alike. I might get the rain and the sun maybe a split second before you. And that's not true. It's usually just the rain I get first. I'm an accountant. We're not allowed outside when the sun's up. Thank God I don't live in Alaska. It's sunny all the time there. Okay. No, you cannot jumpstart your car using the bolts on my neck. No, I will not get that off the top shelf for you. I don't go to the store to do community service for the Oompa Loompas, okay? It's just, I'm sorry I'm a little testy about it. I get the questions all the time. I'm a little self-conscious about my height. It's because every time I see everyone else, they all look gorgeous. It's because I'm looking at them at their selfie angle. Now let's follow this through. If I'm looking at them at their selfie angle, they're looking at me at the anti-selfie angle. I know I'm just nostrils and double chin to you people. I just get upset because you don't appreciate that the world is made for you. I mean, nobody looks at you when you get out of a car looking for the rest of the clown troupe. It doesn't happen. Nobody, when you walk into the room, you don't have to worry about making a mental map of where all the light fixtures and ceiling fans are. Yeah, it's true. Everything looks like Requiem for a Heavyweight when I walk into a room. And I have to sit down to check my shoes to see if they're tied, otherwise I get vertigo. Speaking of vertigo, does everybody here fly great? Yeah? Does everybody here fly great? Yes. I don't. No, I mean, well, I fly great. I just don't take off or land very well. Let me tell you, going to the airport is the only place I go that people feel sorry for me and I accept it. Seriously. Let me tell you, the last time I flew out of Boston, I got pulled for extra security. Because, I fit the profile. Seriously. Because that's the thing, when you're a terrorist, you want to make sure that everybody's looking at you before you do what you do. Seriously. What you don't want to do is blend in. So this TSA genius pulls me aside to the side of the concourse and he asks for my ID. And I give him my ID and he gives it back. And he said, Mr. Wagner, could you unbuckle your belt? Okay, maybe I'm hiding a weapon behind it. Sure, I'll unbuckle my belt. And he said, Mr. Wagner, could you unbutton your pants and roll your waistband down one time? Okay. And could you roll it down a second time? And I looked at him and I said, if I roll it one more time, I'm flying first class. It broke up the room right around me. And I see the way this is going. I think he's got two choices. He's a little embarrassed. Either I'm going to miss my flight because I'm in jail, or he's going to just let me go on my way. And he just let me go on my way. I was very thankful, and I get to the gate, and I recognize some of the people that were going through security with me. They're my gate agents. They're standing behind the desk, and they bumped me up to first class. I took it. It was great. Now, let me tell you, my wife and my kids can talk me into anything. And they, on a regular basis, talk me into going to an amusement park. And I hate going to amusement parks because I've been to them all over the country and I have yet to be amused. I mean, seriously, it gets all my anxiety triggers. I mean, hungry, angry, lonely, tired. Let me explain. Hungry, because I'm not going to spend $120 for a meal that I could get at a bad Jack in the Box for 30 bucks. Angry, I just realized I dropped a mortgage payment to go into some place to watch everybody else have fun. Lonely, I don't ride anything because, yeah, I get vertigo. So I don't ride anything, so they stick me with the bags and they go off to ride rides and stuff. And tired. Because I got to keep moving. Because everybody uses me for a landmark if I don't. Yeah, I'll meet you in Future World by the really pissed off tall guy carrying 7 purses and backpacks. It's ridiculous. Thank you. It's just ridiculous. And I think it goes back to my childhood. My parents would always take us to the local fair, the county fair, the state fair, any fair that they can get around. And when you were a kid, you waited years to make sure that you had grown tall enough so you could ride the big rides. I mean, you were like 8 or 9. I was 4. But parenting was different in the 70s. They just shoved me on these rusty, creaky, lead-painted pieces of crap that the local parking lot carnival wouldn't use. I mean, I was 4 years old. I still had that like huge toddler head lolling around on my head. There's no wonder I got sick. And you know, it wasn't the woohoo, I'm a little dizzy sick. It's the, yeah, I just had meat on a stick and some fried dough and I chased it with some Mountain Dew kind of sick. And I'm puking on my toenails behind the Bigfoot exhibit tent kind of sick. I mean, the sick where the carnies feel bad for you. I mean, this guy, he hasn't shaved or showered in a week. He's probably sleeping on straw. He's got 1 arm, an eye patch, 7 teeth, counting the 2 that are in his pocket. And this guy's feeling bad for me. I mean, it's ridiculous. I hope my kids really appreciate all the, trauma that I got to put aside to take them to these places and use all my hard-earned money for it. Let me give you one more travel tip from your Uncle Jeff, okay? When you go to a motel room, make sure you use that little flippy thing on the door to keep people out. I mean, you don't have to, but otherwise you risk, a 6'8" guy that's 285 pounds coming into your room after midnight and scaring the hell out of you. It's because the front desk gave me a key because they thought the room was unoccupied. All the yelling doesn't help either. I went back down to the desk. I said, give me another key to a room that's unoccupied, maybe. And in a related note, the people in 312 need a new set of sheets. I'm just saying that was a very awkward continental breakfast. All right, that's my time. I'm Jeff Wagner. Thank you. Everybody, please enjoy the rest of the show.